Welcome, everyone. This is the Relay Throw, episode 7. Really, season 2, episode 2. But we're going to call it episode 7 for convenience. 8?
No, it's 7.
Oh, I thought I
can count.
Counting your fingers wrong. I'm Dan Aulbach. As always, I got Andrew Hard. We got a few recurring members on the pod. We're going to get into their intros soon. Actually, no, let's just do it right now. Christian and Luke are here. They are recurring members. Christian.
Yes.
No, welcome back. Christian, I think, is a 3-time recurring guest. If I
believe so.
Two,
I think so.
2 or 3-time. Doing his thing. Men's basketball writer, as always. I took his volleyball role this year, which we'll get into. And of course, Luke Sassa. Welcome.
Luke. Second time.
Water polo specialist.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I if I have a question about water polo, I'm going to him. Men's soccer beat writer.
Yes.
And very excited about that.
And I might add, I'm sorry, a lover of offensive coordinators.
Yeah, love the offense of Columbia for sure.
Yeah. Andrew, I guess before we get into that bombshell, how are you doing?
I am quite well. Today is Friday, September 23rd. It was inauguration day for Marist's new president, Kevin Wyman. I saw Dan.
Yeah.
I saw John Dunn. He was right behind me.
Dude, that was wild. I turn around and I see Andrew, and directly behind is John Dunn.
John Dunn not just John Dunn. It was John Dunn with sunglasses.
Yeah, he looks fly.
That's a new look.
Very intimidating.
No, but he looks fly. Shook Weinman's hand. Great.
Oh yeah. Wyman went up and said, "Hey, what's up, coach?" But and then the row behind Dan. I can say this because we talked about the story on the podcast.
Yeah.
The same Sodexo guy from the Bob Costas event.
Yeah.
Where Dan, let's just say, messed up a little bit.
I don't want to get into it too much. We've
discussed this in detail.
We've talked about this a lot. I didn't see him, probably because I blocked that memory out.
Looked exactly the same.
That was miserable. We're not going to get into it.
No,
I will tell you that, first off, shout out to Weinman. Congrats. Second off, I took the fattest nap ever when I got home. It was a long day, but that free food put me to sleep. It's like,
well, that was a nightmare. That was a horde.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it took like 40 minutes. I was with Arth actually. I was walking to get food, and this mob is around this small table of Sodexo food. And Arth looks at me. He's like, "Hey, if you get in, just save me a spot. We're gonna get this food together." And so soon enough, I like bashed my way in, and I'm like, "Arth." So we got food together. Got like fun. I don't know, just like boneless wings and like,
That's funny because I saw him immediately after I got food.
Oh really?
And then but it was so windy. We went inside the student center.
Yeah. It was a windy day for an inauguration. Yeah, at least it didn't rain.
No. Windy, chilly. I was supposed to get a haircut last week. Got canceled on me. Part of the reason why
I think your hair looks great.
No, it was so annoying during the inauguration because the wind coming from the sea or the river. Excuse me.
The sea?
Jesus. I was thinking of sea breeze. That's why. No, come on, Dan.
Yeah. Hey, Andrew, I got a question for you.
What's up?
You want to talk some Marist sports?
No. Let's end the podcast. No, I would love to talk. I'm all decked out today.
Yeah, I noticed. You're in support.
Wrong side.
He's ready to go for all the weekend sports.
We got a huge week, and we do have a good weekend coming up.
Jonathan previewed the weekend very nicely. The Red Fox preview. Check it out on Instagram.
And speaking of that, we got a few housekeeping things we got to take care of. Number one, the Red Fox recap. Check it out every week. Maybe we'll do special episodes like the preview. But I was on it last week. I went 2 minutes over the time.
Come on,
so check it out. I'm sure you gentlemen will be on it at one point. Christian, I hope you can see you on there because you always inform me with your betting takes. So I
We actually literally filmed that right before we got on. So.
Oh, really? See, I knew it. I knew it.
A little self-plug,
It's the same setup, but
what were your picks?
I think you nail it.
Save it for Twitter.
Christian, I'm an avid Christian DeBlock Twitter follower. Hey, I saw your dog earlier. I know that sounds really weird, but I saw your dog earlier.
Yes, my mom came up to get my brother, and my dog was also here. I did see the dog as well.
Shout out Lola. I have a dog named Lola, so
that was real small world.
I know. Yeah, but Luke, I'm sure you'll get on the Red Fox recap eventually.
Oh, absolutely. I'm ready. Whenever they ask me, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
I'm just clamoring for Jacob to get on.
Oh my god,
that'll be the best one of the year.
Jacob would have the best Red Fox recap.
I think we should only do it if every team loses on the weekend.
Oh yes,
because then it's just like I want some good takes, like some of how they can improve. So
fire this guy, fire him. Why is he wearing a quarter zip?
The quarter zip. And then my second housekeeping thing was we have a new look on this pod.
I've noticed.
Obviously, you can see our four big heads are covering it, but our logo is behind us because we're on StreamYard instead of Zoom. I think this it's going to improve just the overall feel. It's going to feel more homey. You're going to want to sit by a campfire while you hear about Marist Sports.
That's the worst place to listen to Marist Sports. I mean, that when you're around a campfire, you're going on Spotify playing like calm, meditative playlists. You're playing some acoustic songs. You're not like dreading Marist Sports over a campfire. That's a total waste of time.
That's true. Yeah. But we hope you enjoyed the new look. So that's what I'm excited about. But I think let's get into the Marist Sports because
no.
Okay.
Andrew's not ready.
I'm not ready.
I'm trying to think if there's any more housekeeping stuff. Nah, we're going into the Marist Sports right now. We're doing it. All right. No matter what he wants. The first thing I think we should talk about briefly, just gloss over. Football. They played a game. It wasn't a good game, but they played.
But it was a game.
It wasn't. They did play. Who was there? Were Chris and
Luke
you?
in attendance.
Yeah. All right. So just the aficionados. Luke, you had a sidebar, correct?
I did. And my sidebar, I wrote about the offensive performance of Columbia because it was very impressive, very creative offense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a very creative offense when you win by however many points they did, 35. And Andrew had the gamer. So just give us a rundown of what happened. What did you guys see? I heard you guys had some banter up in the press box, especially with that offensive coordinator. So, and Columbia brought like seven guys, like what, 7 reporters?
So they had 4 student reporters. They had their broadcast crew on the left further side of the press box. They had 2 communications people and a spotter for their broadcast crew. So in total, that's 9 people.
It's a lot.
A lot of people. I think that was the most.
Though.
No, absolutely. But that was the most filled the press box has been since I've been up there. So pretty impressive.
How was the?
It did make for a very lively atmosphere up there.
That's good. It's that press box is definitely built for it. It's like there's a crap ton of room up there.
Yeah. They had a private party next door too.
Did they really?
Yeah, they had a private party. You couldn't use the restrooms in the press box that day because it was blocked off for that party. It was lively.
I'm not gonna lie. I drank like 5 water bottles the last time I was up there because it was hot.
It is hot in there.
It's hot up there.
Well,
it's bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah, it was hot for like the first quarter, But then the breeze started coming in, and
once the sun went down, I remember
beautiful.
saying to you that it went down like 5 degrees, and we weren't cooking up there anymore.
Yeah. Wow. Well, sounds like a lively affair. I definitely would have needed the bathroom if I was there.
The game wasn't lively.
Oh, well, sorry. Yeah. I was at home making tacos for my house, so I didn't even
never
care.
a bad thing.
No, exactly. Yeah.
No, Jacob texted me in the third quarter asking if he should go to the game. And Luke's just looking at me like dumbfounded. Like I'm dumbfounded just looking at this text message, and I'm like, Jacob, why do you want to come to this game? It's 31-0. Why do you want to come to this game? He says, I just want to, feel the atmosphere. I once again respond, it's 31-0 Jacob.
Dude, what would we do without this kid? I genuinely, he is the heart of
half of. I feel bad. And he did come. Half the stadium left.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, he starts complaining about him going to the game.
He's the biggest sports fan on campus.
Yeah,
he is the life of American sports. How were I guess that's my next question. How were the fans?
No, yeah, there was a lot of people there, like especially to start the game. And I remember we were just saying to each other, like, what a shame, because so many people came out to see the football team, and it was like a great environment to start out. And then halftime came, and you could just tell a bunch of people were going to get a burger and then head for the exits.
Yeah, well, so Columbia scored their first touchdown, their first drive, play action, almost a 50-yard bomb. I had predicted this game was going to end 35-10.
That was not a bad prediction. You were
not bad. A little pat on the back for myself. But I didn't expect it to be close. But on the next offensive possession for Columbia, Joe Green, who's the reigning Ivy League Rookie of the Year, Joe Green, that quarterback for Columbia, threw what we thought was a pick to Clay Fields.
Yeah.
Returned it like 50 yards. Crowd was going electric. I was like, okay, this is the momentum shift the team needed. Like, this is what's going to spark their season. And then there was some dirty laundry on the field.
Wow.
There was some dirty laundry. It was yellow.
Oh.
And a guy in a zebra-striped outfit picked it up and said, roughing the passer.
Wow, what a lead-in.
Half distance to goal, analogy. First down. And then it was all over from there.
Was it like booze after that? Like, did the crowd even understand? Or
well, I don't think they saw the flag. Luke, did you have a feeling that?
Yeah, well, the people were like celebrating, and then you know how it goes. People are celebrating, they're excited, and then suddenly the defense is staying out on the field, and they're like, "Wait, what happened?" So there's a lot of confusion, I guess I would say.
Well, it's funny. Clay Fields did a little dance with Teddy Wright on the sideline after the pick. Like they had this whole thing planned, and then you just heard the ref's mic come on, and they were so pissed. And Parody. Oh my God, Parody was disgusted. Oh my God. He was going up to the side judge, and he didn't want any of that.
Gave him a piece of that old New Hampshire slang,
Right. Shout out New Hampshire.
Shout out. I think it was definitely the right decision not to go to this game. But
absolutely.
I want to hear, it's hard to get a fair assumption of how the defense and offense are actually performing, because like Jonathan mentioned in his preview or his opinion piece, like they haven't played. They don't really necessarily care about this game. I mean, they care in a sense where they want to still perform, but they're trying to, see what they're made of for MAC play. What did you see? Was there any highlights from this game on the Marist side that you think could lead into something good in MAC play?
First off, PFL, gotta fix that.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm in total volleyball mode.
Hey, no, I get it. It's confusing. The PFL is the worst league in the world, and Marist happens to be one of the teams. And it's
this is
league.
the consequences of taking a nap right before you go on the air.
But no, I don't see how this Marist offense starts cooking. I don't see any highlights really. It's sad to say. I mean, yeah, there's individual players. There's individual players I really like, but football is a team sport. It's a cliche, but come on, that's how football is. One guy can't save your team like Jawatuka did last year in basketball.
Fair point.
And so I don't see how it's gonna mesh. So defense, I think, has potential. The problem with the defense and the reason why they're giving up too many points is because they haven't had time to have a break on the sideline because the offense can't get drives together. And when the offense gets drives together, it either ends up in a pick or, a fourth down at midfield where they have to punt away. Offense hasn't given the defense any favors. And so that's just been the biggest problem with this team. I don't see any hope.
All right. My question to you, Luke, are you going to be going to any further Marist football game to report?
I mean, if they need me, I'll go. And, you hope to see a more competitive product going forward. But, I mean, it was tough. I agree with everything you said. And, they couldn't stop the run on defense. And that just set up everything. It set up the play action and the read option passes and the screen passes where they're getting burnt on the sidelines. And then offensively, they just weren't moving the ball. And, I'll give Coach Parody some credit. He did admit that they need to be better in all three phases, especially special teams as well, because they started out with some really bad field position. But I mean, they gotta go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, you mentioned how they have to be better in all three phases. I clearly remember the first game. He said the exact same thing. Now, in that game, the Georgetown game, special teams was easily the pinpoint of like what went wrong. But he said the same thing. They have to be better in all three aspects of a football game. If you're bad at all three aspects of a football game, you're not going to perform. And that's just straight up how it goes. There's not much else to say. And I totally agree with you both. We can't be excited about this team if they haven't shown us anything yet. And the only bits and pieces I picked out when I was there for that Georgetown game is there's some defensive players that are getting good looks. In fact, some are getting NFL scouted. Right. One in particular, we know, Clay Fields. Are we allowed to say that?
We are allowed to say that.
Okay. Yep, Clay Fields. Getting NFL scouted. I just want to make sure because
yes, that was
I don't want
first reported by Andrew Hard.
But the fact is, there is nothing else to be excited about in this Marist football team. And I think we've kind of buried this topic into the ground until they perform. Yeah. So,
yeah. They play Drake next. First game of the PFL season for them. Drake isn't that great either. They lost to a Division II school. Granted, they played under horrible conditions in that game.
Like 49ers Bears conditions?
Yeah, it was really bad. So, if there's anything going for them, it's that. And they also lost to, fun fact, North Dakota State, which is FCS powerhouse. So they faced both ends of the spectrum and lost both. So, Marist beat them last year 7-0. So we'll see what happens.
There we go.
I was on the Marist football Instagram earlier, and I saw somebody commented something to the effect of like, if we don't beat Drake, they got to shut the whole program down. So I would say that this week is a must-win for sure.
Make or break. Game of the year.
Pretty harsh, but true.
Yeah. I mean, looking at this program, it's just PFL in general is just, and from my time I've been here, it's always just feels miserable. And, that's all there is to say.
Not taken seriously.
It's not. Yeah. It's you go to one of the aspects, you go to college to watch football. A lot of sports fans do. And people don't realize that it's not like this big culture at every school. So moving forward, I want to talk about a team that should get some attention, and that's Marist volleyball. Marist volleyball, I love that Anyway, I should have just kept going. Marist volleyball.
Look.
Man, oh man, it's been fun. The first 2 games I've done, and it's been fun because they're winning, and I'm not gonna shy away from that. It's always, let's face it, it's always more fun to report on a winning team, even though we are journalists and we are non-biased. The Marist volleyball team looks great so far. They're 2-0. And I took over this role from Christian last year, which is why he's here.
That's right.
Christian, now they were good last year. This isn't no secret. And you saw it the whole way through. What went wrong? What, for people that don't know, what really went wrong, and why did their season not go as people thought it would?
Yeah, so last year they finished in 3rd it was behind Ryder and Fairfield. Fairfield's a very good team. I think they were like widely considered as one of the better smaller schools in terms of conference play. And Ryder was really talented as well, but I thought what went wrong was just a poor performance on one given day. Because I think everybody that watched the Marist volleyball team last year kind of knew where they were at, and they were a team that was more than capable of playing a 5-set match with Fairfield. And once you get to set 5, anything can happen. Same thing with Ryder. And I think, when they matched up with Quinnipiac in, I think it was the quarterfinal, they just didn't play well on the night. And that's just how sports goes sometimes. If you don't play well on the day, it just unfortunately didn't go well. And I think they bring back a lot of players, which is important because a lot of continuity. Coach has been there for a long time. They're more than capable of doing the same thing this year. Mm-hmm. So I think this team, like you mentioned, 2-0 in conference play. They've beaten Iona, beaten Manhattan. This weekend, like we'll talk about in a little bit, is a big test for them. Very big test and a lot of storylines. So I'm impressed to see how they do this weekend because this is going to be a fun couple games for Marist volleyball.
Yeah, you hit that right on the nail head. I think what's important to note is that, like you said, the returning players aspect. They have, I think, 14 returning players. When I was doing my preview, I literally had both rosters up and I was trying to compare. I was like writing down initials. Yeah. I was like matching them up, and I just kept going. Their offense is the same, if not better, because Newblatt, who was really the story of the offense last year, Jordan Newblatt, which this is probably the 13th time I've said that this season. She broke the record for kills twice last season.
Yeah, the second time was her own record.
Yeah, exactly.
That stretch where she went on, where it was, I felt it was in a 2-week stretch. She was playing some of the best volleyball that she could have possibly been playing, and she was putting their offense on her back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And the craziest part is, like, to start this year, they don't need that from her necessarily. They have, I don't know, when did Sasha come back? Do you know?
Last year?
Yeah, because I know she got
injured. She had the ankle injury. I think she suffered against Seton Hall.
It was early. It was in non-conference play.
Yeah, she was, and maybe even when she came back, she wasn't 100%, which is kind of why it's not surprising we're seeing what she's doing right now, because she's now fully healthy. She's got Jordan on the other side. I mean, that's a dynamic duo and probably the best duo in that position, probably in the conference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing I've heard from Coach Sean Byron is that their offense this year is so well balanced that they don't need one player to, hammer it in every single game. They've been mixing and matching. In fact, Sasha Venemer was the leader in MAC kills this year, or this non-conference, in these non-conference games.
Sure.
And Newblatt was right behind, as long with a new transfer, Gabby Heller, who is a graduate student. She's an left hitter, so same as Sasha, I think, or I forget. I think she's they're both left outside hitters and Newblatt's right side. Might be the other way around. But she is a transfer from the Pac-12. Now, she didn't play too much. I forget which Pac-12 team exactly, but she also went she played college. She transferred and played college volleyball at another school in LA, and then transferred here. And she is a graduate student. She has a ton of experience, and she's third on the team with kills. She's right behind Newblad. If Newblad isn't on, Gabby Heller has been picking it right off, and she does not look phased. She meshed into their play style really effectively, and their offense is unbelievable. They coach said, I mean, this is a pretty crazy take, but he said that when they're on, like their efficiency is like top 15 in the country, which hearing that is wild, but it's not far from the truth. Their efficiency when they're on a run is unbelievable. Now Quinnipiac, well, first they play Fairfield. Now I don't know how much Fairfield games you saw last year, but how did they match up against playing Fairfield in last season?
I don't remember them getting swept, and even if they did, I think they were competitive sets. I'm trying to remember how those went, but like we've mentioned, I think Fairfield last year had a Baylor transfer who was one of the better players in the conference. Yeah, like you mentioned, I'm not sure where they got or Marist got their transfer from the Pac-12, but still getting those players across the conference from big schools like that is pretty significant. But I would have to look back at the numbers to see what the sets went like. But from what I remember, just off the eye test, it was very competitive sets. And like the smallest differences were what changed the games, really.
Yeah. It's surprising. I'm looking back. They did get swept the first time they played them, but the sets were close. Their first set, they only lost by 2. And then the next 2 was 25-17, 25-18, which isn't terrible. Yeah. And Fairfield had the player of the year last year. But this is probably the biggest game so far for them. They went on a little bit of a losing streak right before conference play, but then they played Manhattan. Guys, Manhattan has 9 players on their roster. They pulled up to the gym, and I was like, "Where's the rest of their team?" And they were subbing out everyone, and they did not look competitive at all. But the Iona set was incredible. They played 2 first sets, and the first set they had control the most of the time. The second set, they had control half the time, and then Iona came back, made a little run. But Newblatt had like 9 kills alone in that set. So they played fine. And then the third set, Iona, they used like 14 substitutions, and they were competitive the whole time. They were really, frantic, which is what coach also said. He described them to me in an interview. He said they're like an anthill. You step on them, and then like 1,000 more ants come out and attack you, which is an interesting analogy, but also shout out coach. Because he was pretty dead on. They were frantic, and I don't think they had a player with more than 5 kills, but they had like 7 players with 2 kills. Yeah, it was surprising. And because I was trying to write, you try to write a little some headlines about Iona's players. No one they had like pretty equivalent stats across the sheet. So I was just like, whatever, just going to describe their offense as frantic. And then the third set, they were really neck and neck. Like they went on 3-point runs, and then Iona would go on 3-point runs all the way up until the 25-point mark, where Iona was winning 24-22. And then Marist came back 3 points, and then Marist victorious in 3 sets. So I have a lot of high hopes. To you guys that haven't seen a game yet, if you have time, check it out. They look pretty good. I mean, like I said, Fairfield is the storyline. So
overall this year, I don't know how much you've looked into the other teams in the MAC. I mean, of course, I know they just beat Manhattan and Iona. Where do you think they place this year in the regular season?
Andrew, I was looking beforehand, and every team plays a different non-conference team. But the interesting thing is that Iona was number 1 non-conference record before they played Marist. And Marist was 4-6, but they played 2 ACC schools. They played Boston College, who at the time was undefeated. I don't know if they still are. And they played Virginia Tech, who, is also really good at. These are 2 top 100 teams in the country.
Well, I'm looking from the ticker here. I mean, Auburn too. We got an SEC opponent.
Mm-hmm. And Auburn isn't as good volleyball as BC, but they're still. It's a different atmosphere. We're talking MAC and SEC. I mean, it's not. Yeah, exactly. Like Christian, you probably watched the non-conference game, some of the non-conference games last year. It's just a different atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, when big schools, and it would be even crazier to imagine schools like that coming here. I mean, you're going miles upon miles, non-conference, away from home, and you got to create your own energy. And those are tough places to go, even for teams that are well organized and well coached like Marist. Like, no matter who it is, it's tough to go there. So to put up fights, and I mean, I think for me at least, watching them, I think tough non-conference games prepares you well to play the teams like Fairfield, Rider, Iona, all these other teams that are tough to beat. You'll be more prepared if you play tough competition going into conference play, which I think they've this year and especially last year as well.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with that. But sorry, Andrew, I cut you off.
You're good. Go ahead.
All right. Anyway, that was the loudest cough in my life. They played these non-conference games really well, and I think they swept LIU, played pretty competitively against URI, but I think most importantly, oh my god, I'm gonna cough again.
Hey, he's prepared for this one.
All right, cut back in. Most importantly, they kept it competitive with Boston College. They only lost by 3 in the last set, pretty sure. Don't fact check me on that. But how coach was describing it to me was they kept it really close. And he was saying that they can, what him and Sasha were saying in that interview is they can fight with these schools, which is a different precedent than previous years past.
Yeah.
Which is why I think, Andrew, you asked me where they're going to finish this year. They retained, here's my evidence. They retained 14 starters. They have a better offense than last year, even though their offense efficiency was the best part of their game. Defensively, you have returning libero Morgan Owens. You have McKinley Fox, who is an amazing setter, gets 25 to 30 assists a game, and also a 4-time captain. Only 4-time captain in Marist history. I don't know if that's necessarily true. That's what coach told me, but being a 4-time captain is pretty incredible. That means she was a captain starting freshman year on, which is pretty admirable itself.
They
also have
to ask Mike Ferraro.
I would
ask.
That's a good.
I'm looking at that.
Basically,
I love Mike.
We got a lot of teams. Anyway, but anyway, they have, in these 14, you have Alyssa White, middle hitter, who, if their offense, you tend to go on the outsides for your main attacks when in volleyball. But sometimes they'll switch it up, do a quick set, and Alyssa White spikes it right over. And she's been awesome so far. And coach was talking to me, and they've been getting the ball to her a lot more, which is really cool to see. But their starters are the strong point for sure. When they played Iona switched out a lot. And don't get me wrong, our team is deep, but our starters are the strong point. But having 14 returning members is great. And I think, since they got swept by Fairfield twice last year, if they put up one set on them, that's a testament. And I say they finish right where they are, second or third. Depending on how they play against Fairfield, we'll see. But I think they play right at the top of the back. They're back with the fire. They want some redemption from that Quinnipiac matchup last year. That was not a good loss. Sasha is healthy. She was not healthy last year. She says she's back. She's ready. Gave me a great quote for the article. But they're ready. That's what I've seen so far.
do you think this weekend will tell you a lot about this team moving forward? Like, is this the weekend that like you'll know they're set that second or third spot in the MAC?
Oh yeah. I was looking over their schedule, and I really don't see a weekend like this going forward. They play the team that beat them in the playoffs and the team to beat in general. So this is the team to beat personally for them, to make it personal, as MJ would say, and the team that everyone in the MAC wants to beat. This is the weekend to watch Marist volleyball. Also, I think if you're one of the first 150 people there, you get a free pizza to this Fairfield game. I think I saw that. Someone showed me that. I was like, who's going to complain about free pizza? Wow. Hell, I'll get some free pizza if I'm going to be there like 50 minutes early. So shout out Marist volleyball for the pizza.
They had pizza in the press box this past weekend for the football game.
No shit.
Yeah. Didn't get any.
I didn't see that up there.
It was all the way in the back.
Oh.
Everyone was just grabbing. And I'm like,
I just got a Mountain Dew, whatever it was that they had in that little fridge.
Oh, yeah.
The mini fridge classic. Yeah. Filled with Sodexo Pepsi products. So shout out Sodexo, I guess. I can't escape them. No. But anyways, this volleyball team is definitely one to watch. Now, are they the best team on campus? I don't know. I think that's a discussion to have, because we have some men's soccer to talk about.
Yeah. So, that's actually going to be the title of this episode. Who is the best team on campus? And, volleyball's up there, but I think men's soccer has a good reason.
Absolutely.
To have the best, out of their non-conference schedule, they went all over the place.
Yeah.
They went to Spokane, Washington, for God's sake, to play Gonzaga. They did lose that game, but they've been impressive, to say the least, especially when you look at their key transfers, right, Luke?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially Jared Julo coming over. He's been so impressive. I think he has like 4 assists now. Like, he's such a playmaker. And I feel like both of the games that I covered the games against Albany and FAU. It's like almost every goal that's scored is assisted by him. And then even like you just look at like some of the other box scores too, like he's all over the place, setting up his teammates, in particular, Richard Morrell as a sophomore. He was here last year as a freshman to really work himself up just through the program, kind of get the experience of the success from last year. And now he's been handed the bigger role because some guys did leave, and he's ran with it. He had 2 goals against FAU. Definitely very impressive. I would say really like the only thing so far that they need to work on is kind of closing out games, because, they were leading against Colgate late and then they let up a goal in the final moments to draw against them. And then they were tied against Gonzaga. And then obviously, I think it was the 88th minute, they let up a goal. And then even against Albany, I was at that game. It was really rainy. So I guess, you could kind of cut them some slack because the conditions were pretty rough. But it was kind of just, they got a 2-0 lead really early on, and then it was 2-1, and you were just hoping that the time was going to run out because they were kind of on their heels. But I mean, definitely like a really great start, though, all things considered, with all the new guys coming over. They have like half a new roster at this point.
Well, yeah, with that roster turnover, I mean, they had a lot of guys transfer out too. I mean, I think most notable being Stefan Capetti going to Maryland. From MAC championship winning team last year, going to the NCAA tournament. What do you think they missed the most? Just based, I don't know how much of last year's team you watched, but just what's the key difference between last year's iteration of this men's soccer team versus this year?
So I'll be honest, like I didn't watch much of last year's team, but I spoke to a lot of them about that. And obviously, like Capetti last year, he led them in basically like every major offensive category. I think they like lost their top 5 guys in minutes played from last year, which is just like, very scary. And yet when I spoke to everybody when I was writing the preview for the team, it was just a situation where they seemed like they still had so much confidence despite the fact that there was so much turnover, because specifically talking to Sam Illen and Enrique Cruz, and even Vigiano, the coach. I mean, they just really believe in their culture. I know I talked to Enrique Cruz about their 1-1 draw with Colgate. It was right after that. And he was like, when it happened, it was disappointing to allow a goal in the final moments. But we said, you know what? It's a long season. We're moving right on from it. And I think definitely just the fact that they have a strong culture has allowed them to implement some new guys, guy like Morel, who was here but didn't have a big role, and then a guy like Julo, who just got over here to kind of fill the void.
Isn't it weird that, and obviously their culture hasn't changed, like you said. They're 4-1-1. They've started out really well, coming off a championship. Isn't it weird that, like, we at Marist, we have the most dominant, this is arguably our most dominant team, and yet the transfer portal still fills up, and we get guys back, we get guys going forward. Do you think it's just because guys want to make themselves more notable? Is Marist not like somewhere where you're not going to, make your soccer career that, and this is for anyone, by the way, anyone can chime in, but I'm just curious, this is our team, this could arguably be our team at Marist, and we still got transfers. What do you think?
So I actually spoke to Vigiano about this when I interviewed him from the preview, and he had a great quote about it. Basically just saying it's kind of twofold, because on one hand, yes, with the success of the team, you have programs that are maybe like a little bit more established, that, with Marist success, guys who are successful for Marist get recognized because of the team success, and then have new opportunities available to them to leave the program and go somewhere where they might get even more recognition than they already are here. But at the same time, he also said, he was very candid with me. He said, there's a number of guys on our team where if we didn't win the MAC championship last year, they wouldn't be here. They came here because of the success that we've established. And when I talked to Sam Illen, he was talking about his goals for this season, and how one of them is to kind of take the program to that next level and get more national recognition, which would maybe like assist in preventing so much turnover. Because if the program does, continue to elevate in the coming years, then guys are going to want to stay.
Yeah, and that's huge. I mean, you think about the potential impact that has on athletics itself here. I mean, that would help out not just soccer, but every school. Obviously the goal for them is back-to-back MAC championships. What returning championship wouldn't want that? Do you think they're in? I don't know. And again, like Andrew asked me, I don't know how they match up against other MAC opponents. Do you think they got what it takes again?
Yeah, I do, because they've been so competitive in non-conference play. They've gone against big name schools, gotten important wins, or even games where they might have come up just short from getting a win, like they did against Gonzaga and Colgate. They still were very competitive, and it's very early in the season. They were, when I interviewed some of them, just telling me how it's going to take some time to get everyone on the same page, because of the fact that they had like 13, 14 new guys, and Vigiano was saying that the offensive part of the game tends to be the last part of the game that really clicks for the team. But just the fact that they're playing so well defensively, and obviously, their goalkeeper, he's phenomenal. He was goalkeeper of the year last year in MAC. So that definitely helps defensively. He's made a number of fantastic saves to start the season, particularly against FAU. But I think that they have everything it takes. I think they have the defense to do it, led by Enrique Cruz. He was first team All-MAC last year. I think they have the right man in goal. I think, they have just some good pieces on offense, and that guys are going to continue to get comfortable in their roles. And I think not only do they want to win the MAC, but they want to have some success in the NCAA tournament too. That was one thing that they talked about with me. They went last year and they played Providence and they lost in that first game. I know that that's another goal for them as well, to maybe get some more national recognition.
Yeah, going forward, you got one more non-conference game left in Cornell tomorrow, Saturday. In fact, Christian and I will be at the game in the press box doing camera for.
Guys there? Are we ready or what?
There. Oh, we're ready. Red Fox Network.
Yeah,
let's ride.
We'll be there.
I got 3 people shadowing me tomorrow, so I don't know how that's
incredible.
3, yeah.
You're popular. Dan, you got anybody for volleyball this weekend?
No. What?
Wow. I guess everybody wants to be with Luke.
Yeah,
well, I mean, okay, I did have 2 last week, but
yeah,
it's not. Hey, it's not a competition.
not a competition.
That's
Dan,
crazy though.
Dan, do you have a mini fridge?
That's true. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like for soccer, Luke gets his little press box, his refreshments. I get the stands, which isn't bad. I like being in the.
You get free pizza.
I potentially. I hope I get. Do reporters get pizza? That's a good.
They'll send us the invoice.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I just like I hope I get pizza. We'll see.
I hope you get pizza too.
I appreciate it.
We all hope, for the sake of this podcast.
Yeah,
you might see me there for pizza.
I would, former volleyball writer make an appearance.
Here's the problem. What kind of pizza is it? Is it Sodexo pizza, or is it Giacomo's?
If it's Giacomo's, I'm there.
The unknown element of that's going to make it more appealing.
Yeah, really good too.
Yeah. Jeez, I hope it's not Sodexo. If it's Sodexo pizza, I can't have it. they just
like cardboard. And I'm from Jersey. I know a good slice when I taste one. Oh man, I cannot eat that Sodexo stuff.
Sodexo Joe's gonna bring it right to you.
That's what I know. Like, and I get A, it's not like the pizza's great. B, Sodexo will find me and they'll find me. They know my name. They know
they have a sniper ready.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good stuff for me. But shout out Sodexo Joe. He's a good guy, I guess.
I don't even know if his name is Joe.
We're just gonna assume it is.
We'll call him Sodexo Joe.
Yeah. I think we've about covered most of everything there is to cover. I did want to kind of segment into what's going on with everyone. What do we got coming up for center field? Just to kind of round out everything. Andrew, maybe there's something you want to talk about. Any pride, since you are one of the big men on campus.
Is that so?
I in center field, I think you're pretty instrumental. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's more than just center field.
Oh, Christian.
What's going on? You know what, Andrew? What's going on with you? What do you got coming up?
Well, coming up. Well, I guess I'll be emailing more SIDs.
Yeah,
doing that.
Oh yeah.
Doing the dirty work. That's all that matters.
Get more stories shot down, but that's okay. Football, we got Parents Weekend coming up. Next weekend, October 1st, noon game against St. Thomas from St. Paul, Minnesota. Minnesota. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Soda.
And hopefully there's a lively crowd. Parents Weekend last year, the game we keep talking about for football,
that was
against
great
Bryant.
Game.
That 6,100 people, over 6,100 people attended that game.
You know what's funny? We're like, wow, that was a great game. They still lost.
Oh yeah, they lost by like 17.
Yeah,
they scored 17, which
they did exactly. They scored 17.
They were
do the math. Do the math. What was the final score?
But yeah, and I mean, since it's a noon game, they're not going to have fireworks, so very disappointed in that. But hoping for an okay crowd, and hopefully they win for the sake of that crowd. Other than that, I don't think I have anything planned. How about Luke and Christian? I don't know.
Little bit. So obviously I'm going to continue with men's soccer. Very excited for tomorrow to have 3 people shadow me, show them the ropes a little bit, pay it forward. I don't know how I'm going to do it with 3 people at once, but we're going to figure it out. And then something that I wanted to cover, and it's kind of like TBD right now. I don't know how much you guys know about this all, but with men's basketball, they're running tryouts to potentially get an extra guy or 2 on the team. Very intriguing to me personally, because men's basketball, there was just so much that went down last year, off season. It's like kind of ongoing. And so to just kind of see how they try to fill out their roster for this year, wanted to obviously attend the tryouts if it was at all possible. But Ferraro said that it's closed session. I know you had gotten back to me about that. So I don't know. We'll have to see in the aftermath if there's anything like story worthy there. about who maybe makes the team, and maybe I'll do something on that.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If you want to learn about Mac basketball, you listen to this podcast, because we talk.
Mac is on the map.
Mac is on the map, and we also have the man himself.
Wait, real quick, before we segue to Christian, for the tryouts, we should have an undercover boss type situation.
That's what I'm saying. Put me in.
You know, we need a we need an Eli Manning.
I've seen him on the football field. We could see him in the basketball court.
We need an Eli Manning, Chad Powers.
True. You know, Christian and I think of Christian and I as two-way athletes. Flag football, basketball.
Don't flatter me too much.
Yeah, I think of myself as a slot receiver, and good slot guy in flag, and I think of myself as a good, facilitator, point guard.
Sneaky athletic.
Yeah, no, but
not even sneaky.
It's just out there. People know. I show up, I report. They're like, "You want to try out?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got things going on." So, but Christian, Christian, I was about to say, you, my friend, you could pull off this tryouts if you weren't reporting for the team. Maybe you got like a little Players Tribute action going on, being a member of the Red Fox basketball team. But I want to hear from you. What do you got going on?
Yeah, so right now it's a lot of just getting ready for basketball season. It's coming pretty soon. I mean, it's going to come sooner than you think. As Luke mentioned, a lot of changeover from that team. A lot of new guys coming in, transfers, freshmen. So it's going to be interesting to see how Coach Dunn and his staff mesh everybody together before the season starts. But I'm excited for basketball season, both on the men and women's side. I mean, George's last year, I'm sure you'll have Canadian over on the
unfortunately.
It's going to be a really interesting basketball season on both sides, though.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Well, in women's, I mention this every week. It still gets me that Villanova is coming to Marist to play the women's team for their home opener. We were talking earlier about having strong non-conference opponents. I think it's so rare to have that, like, Big East team in this case. Come to Marist.
Yeah.
To Poughkeepsie, New York.
It's like a Monday night, too.
Is there a preseason pullout for, like, how high up they are?
I don't think so yet. I can check.
Not yet. Maybe coming soon.
While you're doing that, I'm going to plug myself, because why not? I got that volleyball stuff going on every week. I actually going to try to do a feature on that team. They have a really cool partnership with a nonprofit, Friends of Jacqueline. Really an amazing foundation helping with, donations for brain tumors. And actually, the Jacqueline herself was a Marist student. This is not just like a local Hudson Valley fund. This is a fund that's gotten attention from Yes. It's actually had a segment on the Yes Network. But Jacqueline herself was diagnosed with a brain tumor early on, and for the rest of, started this foundation to really nail finding those, research and, just gaining awareness for brain tumors from then on. And she graduated here with a bachelor's degree in communications. So not far from our kind of side of the ball, but also the volleyball team has some stuff going on with them this year. So I'm going to do some of my classic Dan Aulbach reporting and see what they're up to, going to see what they're up to. And I'm really looking forward to getting that out there, because it's really cool to see. Apparently they had some stuff on Go Red Foxes that I'm going to, research about, but I want to get the inside scoop. So there we go.
Investigative journalism.
Sounds awesome.
Best.
Yeah. I like I said, I'm looking forward to it. If you got time, look up Friends of Jacqueline. It's a cool Marist ties, but a really great cause.
Something I see, I've been seeing on the board for like a year. No one has taken it. It's the best meets of the PFL. And that's been on the board for like a year. No one's taking it. I don't want to take it.
You got it.
It's too daunting of a task. But I think we need to set up a round table. I think
Okay, I like that.
Even though we've never been to any of these stadiums, I'm sure we could find out some stadium concession menu and find what sounds the most appetizing.
That's a tough ask because the PFL, we go from New York to San Diego. We go from Minnesota to Florida.
Right? Florida.
Yeah. What that'd be that's a tall order. But hey. I totally contribute. I'm
just throwing it out there.
The issue with that is that some of the menu items might be misleading because some of the Sodexo items sound delicious when you read it and then you eat it. And
so we need firsthand reviews. We need we need honest opinions and not Sodexo opinions.
Right. We need to contact SIDs from all these schools. And that's investigative journalism. We're gonna find out.
We might mention Sodexo more than any sports podcast ever. I just realized.
I don't think it's maybe. I think we do.
Right? I think this is like the fifth time.
It's the most important part of our lives.
Right? That's what I'm hearing.
I'm gonna order some Sodexo as soon as I get off this podcast here.
Marketplace action.
Yeah, or maybe North End. I don't know because it's a little better than Marketplace.
Yeah,
really cold.
I agree. Yeah.
Making Dan use swipes during his quarantine. Very nice people.
Oh my god. We can't miss them anymore. The food was fine. It was okay.
You like dessert.
Guys, they're gonna kill me. I think that about just does it for us at the 1 hour mark. Good timing, everyone.
Oh, how about that?
Good for us. I think a huge thanks is in order for Christian and Luke for being on this episode.
Absolutely.
Great stuff from them. Love to talk fall sports with you guys all the time. And I'm sure with basketball, we're all four of us will be watching basketball. So definitely got some good stuff going on there. But
thanks for having us.
Yeah, yes, of course.
Thank you. Love being on.
Anytime.
Don't tell me to Sodexo. Keep doing what you're doing. Andrew, final thoughts.
I'm loving StreamYard.
Me too. This is so cool.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. Before we sign off, I just want to showcase some of what StreamYard has to offer for us.
Okay.
If we want to watch some highlights, pull up.
This isn't a highlight. Low light.
This is a highlight touchdown.
Oh wait, no, that's a good. Yeah. Okay, well,
there we go. Did they do a dance? No dance. No.
Oh, we'll see.
But anyways, we could watch highlights. That
would be fun. I think going over some highlights would be fun.
Yeah, we can play copyright free music. Dan can
welcome back country to the Relay Throw episode 7 with your host Andrew Hard and Dan Aulbach. On this episode, Marist volleyball, Marist football, Marist men's soccer, and more from Sodexo. God rest their souls.
Beautiful. We're going to do that from now on.
All right.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, nice touch. All right, well, let's get these guys out of here.
Yeah. I need to watch Aaron Judge's home run.
Be quiet.
Tonight, so
he already struck out on the first at bat.
Actually, it's a give and take because I have him in 2 fantasy baseball leagues. Want him in the finals for, but I also am a Red Sox fan. So.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
Oh. I'm gonna mute Dan, and he won't know because I don't want to hear him blabber about the Boston Red Sox.
Oh my God,
you're unmuted.
I didn't even realize that. Anyway, signing off. I'm Dan Aulbach. Thank you guys for watching. Andrew, Mac Country, let's ride.
Mac Country, let's ride. Let's go. Mac season's rolling.
Yes, sir. In full swing. All right. See you guys.
Good night, everyone.
See you guys.